our Hot Topics segment. Now, we have several things we want to talk about. What we want to talk about first are FAFO. What about the price of eggs? Now, Donald Trump said in all his campaign speeches that he was going to drive the first day that the price of eggs will go down. But that's not happening. Several things have happened since January 20th up to now, and the price of those eggs are still going up, up, up. So one of the things that I noticed that Jasmine Crockett out of Houston, Representative Jasmine Crockett out of Dallas, said that Texas is undergoing a measles outbreak. And the reason why I want to bring this up to the Black community especially is that we've had a lot of disinformation about whether or not to take vaccines. We've got Robert Kennedy now, who's the Secretary of the Health and Human Services Division, and we already know that he has a lot of conspiracy theories about vaccines, how to eat food, what not to eat. So I think that if we need to do our due diligence for ourselves and our families as to find out, first of all, about measles. Measles is highly, highly, highly contagious. And we need to get with healthcare providers that we trust and discuss whether or not to vaccinate ourselves, especially our babies, but especially us as adults, because measles for adults has a more significant outcome on us, and to the point where you can have pneumonia, your brain can swell. So Black parents, Black folks, check with your doctors on your vulnerability regarding measles and including pneumonia. Now I believe in getting vaccinations. So I did get my pneumonia vaccination a couple of weeks back. And now I'm going to talk with my doctor, or just going over to CVS and talk about, do you have the measles vaccine? Because I'm thinking about taking it as well, because I'm around a lot of folks. So I'm asking you guys to do your due diligence and protect yourselves and your family, and do your research. Talk to healthcare providers that you trust. So what have you noticed about going on this week over the last 20 days?
Measles or eggs? No.
He said measles or eggs.
I mean, again, so I think
the price
of eggs is going up. But even remember, as soon as he got elected, he said, "Well, it's hard to change the price of eggs." You know what I mean? So no, it's just eggs were a metaphor, because by every indicator, we had the strongest economy in the world. We had the lowest unemployment, highest rate of employment.
And Biden just got an A.
Well, I know one thing. The stock market was breaking records every week. The jobs report was breaking records every week. They exceeded expectations. So by every single metric, we had the strongest economy in the world. So the only thing they turned to was the price of eggs. Never mind that there was a bird flu going on in China, and there was an issue of supply and demand. That didn't matter. Eggs were a metaphor. And so, and again, it's ridiculous. What you have, again, it's just, it never was about the price of eggs. It was all about the color of the camel's skin.
They're talking about the color of the skin. I don't know if you guys have heard that because of this anti-DEI movement that's going through this administration, the Department of Defense will now stop recruiting Black engineers. And a lot of these engineers are being recruited from STEM conferences. So again, I know, Fred, you were in the military. Were you in the military?
No, hell no.
Your wife, Brett, you were in the military. You got a son in the military. You were a Brett.
I have a son in the military.
And a lot of
Hell no.
I didn't say that.
and a lot of our folks have gone. Everybody said, "Well, go start your own businesses. Go start your own businesses." But not everybody wants to start their own business. A lot of our men and women have gone into the military and used that as a way of generating wealth within their family. But now, Hepset, Trump, I'm going to say Trusk, have figured another way of stopping that advancement by saying, we're just not going to recruit Black engineers.
They don't want Blacks in the military, period.
No, because just think about it, you got a lot of black folks trained on how to shoot, how to handle weapons and stuff. That to white folks' mind, that's a dangerous combination.
William, you gonna say something too?
Yeah, we talked about the price of eggs.
Yeah,
going
price
up,
of
and that
eggs.
going down. Who was the guy who said there's a fool born every day? There's a sucker.
day, yeah.
There's a sucker born every day. In terms of November 5th, there's like 77 million, so and so many suckers
Yep.
born. Suckers born. Because how in the world did they think this man, he's getting up there saying, the first day I get in office, eggs are going down. You had to be a sucker.
I don't think they were suckers. They didn't care. They didn't care what he said. This man got to say I can shoot somebody on the Bill of Wall Street, and you still got both of me.
That's being a sucker.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's both.
You're buying this guy's BS.
They didn't buy his BS.
They did
Glad
too.
Fred is
They
back.
bought his. They bought his race.
They bought his BS.
And I have to agree with that because while the price of eggs have gone up,
Yeah.
our personal information has been hijacked.
But the price of eggs gone up, but so is his approval rating.
Yeah, well,
No, it went down.
Yeah,
No,
but down.
it went up.
No, it went down. It went
He's
down.
at 56%,
No, he's down to 46 now.
which is still
46%.
Which is-
he was up to 50.
he was up to
pretty good.
56.
Something he did recently. What was
Still
it?
in our personal
that's still
information.
high,
That
though.
did it.
I think it was releasing all those folks.
Firing all those folks.
Well, that
No.
too-
Releasing all those invaders of the Capitol.
Oh, okay.
Well, that didn't help. But where people really got personal when the personal information was stolen
Yeah, from the Treasury
by
Department.
Trusk and gang.
Yeah, that
And-
really
and-
got
and
people
then
upset.
Last night, I get the message from my son and TikTok. Elon Musk has messed around and posted classified information onto the website with the pseudonyms for the various people with security clearances. And so now we got another issue because that information, a lot of foreign countries, a lot of our enemies can take advantage of understanding how that information they can take a lot of information off of that stuff. So while the eggs are going up, we're getting burned. We've got HEPSEP going over into Europe. Advancing information about United States not supporting Ukraine anymore. We've got a 4-year-old telling Trump to shut up. You're not the president.
He got that from somewhere.
He got that from his daddy. From the mouth of babes.
He told him, "You not the president," and you need to just go away. So 4-year-olds, he got that from somewhere.
He got it from his daddy.
He got it.
Can you imagine this man brought his baby son
On his shoulders.
on his shoulders into the Oval Office, and Trump sat there steaming. I mean, you could tell he was angry. And one time, the son looks at him, he's looking over there, he turns away like that. Yeah, this guy has some kind of hold
Yeah,
over Trump.
he rigged the election for him.
He what?
he stole the election for him.
He bought election.
And then another thing, while the egg prices are going up, you've got the farmers, you've got a lot of Trump supporters who are now crying about Trump's not doing what he said he was going to do, especially related to that USAID funding suspended. And I've got a friend here in San Antonio who lost her job because of the USAID grant that was designed to help fund her job.
Well, that's not final yet, is it?
But-
No, it's not.
They've started firing. The courts put a hold on it,
Yeah.
but they're firing people. They're still moving forward with it. People are doing their packing list. They're still getting notifications and letters.
They'll
even though
get
the
their
court,
jobs back. Okay,
Maybe.
they'll get their jobs back.
Maybe.
but you have a lot of people who are overseas. You remember USAID primarily operates in a variety of foreign countries.
Internationally.
These people are packing, and they're told to continue to pack, and they're still moving forward.
And the judge has gotten on him for that. Now, he's warned him. I guess the next thing would be to hold him in contempt of court. Now, who do you can't hold the president, so do you hold Musk in contempt of court?
Well, you know, now I really got to log in when you say that. Okay, anything that this president does, and I think you and I may have
Which
talked.
president you talking about?
The,
Musk? Or
No.
Truss? You talking about Trump, Trust, or Musk?
all the above.
Okay.
If the court, if whatever he does, period, goes to the courts, and if it goes to the courts, and the courts rule that he cannot do whatever it is that he's doing, what kind of teeth does the court have to enforce what they've said?
Well, they don't. And it goes back to Andrew Jackson. When the court ruled against him, he says, where's your army? Now, here's what has to happen. I don't know if it can happen. If he continues to defy the court, that's a basis for impeachment. Okay? So it just depends on how, if the Republicans find out he's no longer an asset, and they're going to lose their seats, then you could possibly, I'm not going to say it's going to happen, you possibly could get a vote for an impeachment and a vote for conviction. Now, here's the question. Here's the big question. If they do that,
Right.
and Trump does not leave the White House, now the military comes in.
Yay.
And will the generals back him and let him stay there, or will the generals help to remove him? That's the big issue we're moving toward.
Well, you know, we're not going to talk about the generals online, and we can get around the coffee table and talk about that.
Why don't you go talk about generals?
I have some theories about that scenario, and I'm pro generals. I'm pro generals at this point.
Okay, that's fine. I'm probably pro generals because, bottom line, I don't think the generals will do it.
You don't?
No, I don't think they will. These guys, these guys take a pledge. These guys take a pledge
To the Constitution.
To the Constitution. It's drilled into their heads,
Right.
man.
So you
I'm
don't
telling
think they'll uphold the president? Is that what you're saying?
No, but see, here's the deal. They don't take an oath of office to a man. They take an oath of office to a system and to a country.
Yeah,
But I'm trying to figure out what Fred's saying.
they won't defend Trump.
Okay, that's what I wanted to find out.
You see, we're on the same page.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
they
find.
won't
No,
defend Trump.
I really don't think the justice, like we had the conversation, those people that work for the Justice Department are attorneys and they're constitutionalists to their core. Those people, that their entire being, their entire fabric, decades and decades for a lot of those people upholding the law.
That's why six of them resigned.
Yeah.
Right, a lot of them did resign.
They said
The
we're not going
people
to
at
lose
the
their
top,
license.
the
Right,
political
yeah.
appointees will do what Trump says. And that's one of the reasons he's trying to rid those people at the lower levels, what he calls the deep state, trying to get rid of those people, the functionaries.
Okay.
But the courts are going to rule against that. Caleb.
Right, but
they
what I'm
got
saying-
to.
we're on the same page. What I'm saying is those people, the core of the system, are not going to lay down for
No.
Trump. They're not.
Well, we got to have a showdown at some point. There's
Right.
gonna be a
It's
show-
coming. It's coming.
Yes,
It is.
we got to have a showdown.
And again, people are going to have to decide, do they still want a democracy or not?
Right.
That's good. That's the fundamental question. Do we want to keep this 250-year-old system, or do we want to? Is it time to let it go?
Because one of the first showdowns, I think, is going to be whether or not, like you talked about, that it would have to be an impeachment. Impeachment has to happen in the House.
Right.
Okay? So if the impeachment happens in the House, I don't think that could happen with all the people that he's got there.
Right.
The conviction has to happen
But it could-
in the Senate.
But it
said.
but it could
That's what I
happen
said.
because they got that special election of those 3 seats coming up in April.
But remember what I said. A lot of these folks are on. I think there's like 5 or 6 congressmen that won as Republicans that went with Biden. So these are swing districts. These folks are not going to. If Trump keeps doing, these folks know they're going to kick him out of office. You need just I think a swing of 3 or 4, and then Democrats take over the House. But my feeling is these people who are elected, those folks up there on Capitol Hill had the biggest egos. I was up there. I know. They had the biggest egos. If they see Trump taking away their power, they're going to turn on Trump.
But see, and that's the conversation we had. That the scary part is they're so afraid of losing the election. They're afraid of Trump's power with the base. You know what I mean? Are they going to have the courage to take him on? The other thing that we talked about is them preserving their power, preserving the separation of power, because he has expanded executive power in a way no other president has done before.
And in 3 weeks.
So we got a lot of talk about concerning what about the price of eggs? Well, they're going to go up. Get over it's going to go up. So let's go move on to our next topic.
Okay.
Now, I think that it's probably just going to be you and me talking about this. Kendrick Lamar's performance at the Super Bowl. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
You know, the jury's still out for me. I would probably have to say based on not my own feelings, because I did not understand it. However, what people are saying about it, and to go back and dissect it and to find out all the messaging that was in there might be something that is incredible that I need to look at.
Well, I just saw the performance. I saw the performance multiple times because there was so much in that performance that you could not pick it up. Well, I couldn't pick it up all at one time. But the flag, the fact that he had nothing but black bodies interconnected to make the U.S. flag, to me that was powerful, because our souls and blood and our existence is built within the American flag. A lot of white folks, a lot of non-black folks don't want to believe it, but we talk about Black Wall Street. The heart and soul of black people are interconnected from all those stars to all those stripes within that flag. I got that one, and I said thumbs up on that one. Then I went back and looked at the platform that he performed on.
The video game thing?
It was a video platform. It was the controllers, right? And then when he said game is over, the game is over, and I said hands down, because we are being told, we have been programmed, and we still need to be deprogrammed on white folks telling us how we need to behave, when we need to behave, how we, all this stuff. And so when you start looking at Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam, I know some white folks, especially the MAGAs, probably died when they saw Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam. But when he was telling Kendrick Lamar, and I'm just going to be paraphrasing this audience, okay, now you know how to act. And he was doing all this heavy rapping and stuff, right? And, and just doing his thing. And then he says, you don't know how to act. And then when he starts saying, "This world is mine" by Luther Jackson, all it says is, yes, that's what they want. They want everything calm and easy. And then he picked it back up, especially when he started talking about not like us, not like us. So I like the messaging. I've always liked his messaging, especially when I saw him in the Grammys back in 2018, I think, when he did the prison performance, where he talked about the mass incarceration of black men, black power. I love his messaging. It reminds me a lot of the old school type rappers, and they were doing more of the street music, street protest visual via music. I liked it. I give it not only 2 thumbs up, but I'm gonna go ahead and give them all, throw them up. Everybody 2 thumbs up. Powerful message.
I ain't gonna give it anything because I couldn't understand it.
Well, my mom was 91 years old. She says, "Baby, I didn't understand it, but the young people needed to hear that."
Well, if I can't understand it, I don't know what they need to hear.
Right.
Well,
Can I just a quick word? I think it was it Megan Kelly that asked if black people really think Uncle Sam is real? I think it was her that asked that question, if we really think that Uncle Sam is real. I think that was her. I know it was one of them blondes. To me, they all look the same. That is one person anyway. But it was one of those dumb blondes on Fox that asked if black people really think that Uncle Sam is real. And so, no, we don't. We're not stupid. like you who said Santa Claus is white. Do you think Santa Claus is real? So I just want to address that. No, we don't think that Uncle Sam is a real person. So that just I was a little upset, and I'll leave it at that.
What was the Uncle Sam symbol or message? I didn't understand that at all.
I think it was a satire taking this image that white folks have of America, this Uncle White Man, and then they put a black man in costuming, and there was some jangoing in that to where he's trying to tell Kendrick Lamar how to behave and what it takes to behave according to white folks. I think it was all just a satire.
Do you think that's appropriate at the football game?
Yeah, because he was giving the fingers to Trump. That's why
He said you voted for the wrong
Was that
man.
the right place to do it?
Yeah.
Hey, in this world, I mean, there's a lot of things. First of all, I think there are a lot of people right now that are saying blacks, Democrats, people that would be not conservative but liberals, we're all being too soft. Okay, because the question is that you're asking is what we ask of ourselves, and we say we need to be nice when all the time the Republicans is kicking us in the ass.
Well, my take on it is, again, if that message resonated with young folks, if it was a message, a lot of people have been dispirited since the election. So if that message brought you a sense of renewal and a sense of strength,
That's important.
more for you. You know what I mean? And so people give messages of strength and resistance in whatever way that they can. And so if Kendrick, if that was his way of giving a message to resist and to be strong and to persevere, I'm all for it. Whatever you take from it, but don't just sit there and listen to it. Go out there and continue to resist. Be active. Be active in your communities. Register folks. Don't wait until 2026 to get here. Start doing the groundwork now. And so whatever you take from it, just take action.
I want to say this,
action.
Caleb, to what you just said. The Gen Xers, I think the approval for Trump has gone down. And based on what you're saying, you know, the time to be reactive was before November 4th.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's the
Not
deal. So
afterwards.
the time to be active is now. You know what I mean? And so if we have an election in 2026, the time to prepare for it is now, and start getting ready. Start talking to folks. Start getting the ground game. Start organizing. 2026 come before you know it. So
It's already here.
yeah, it comes fast. So now is the time to get motivated, get active, start resistance, whatever you can do, because we are in dire straits, and I don't know if you understand how dire the situation we're in, but this is probably the greatest challenge we've had to the Constitution since the Civil War, and so whatever you can do in whatever forms you need to do it in, just get active. So,
And then finally, South Africa impressed the heck out of me this week. You want to talk about that?
So no, you go ahead and lead off on the story.
Okay, so South Africa the president has suspended American businesses, and also banned the exporting of minerals. So why is that important, Caleb?
So a couple of things. So before we get into the mineral thing, so yeah, they're going after South Africa because of South Africa suing Israel in the ICJ, in the International Criminal Court. This is payback for Israel. And so the other thing is, this is Musk, the apartheid. Yeah, Musk is originally from South Africa. So the Trump administration, while deporting millions of black and brown people, are now opening the doors and wanting to bring in white South African farmers. And so I think that it's important to understand that these people are about race. They're about what they call blood and soil. And so this is nothing but a racist move on their behalf to deport everybody but bring in more white folks, right? And so one of the things you have to understand is that the season of white farms, again, I think I made this point last week. This is not something that happened in the 1800s or when the British first got there, although it did, but it's something that continued. And white folks were pushing black folks off their land all the way up until Mandela became president. So this is something that was still going on in the 80s and the 90s. You know what I'm saying? I think that's important for people to understand that. And so black folks are just taking back what belongs to them. And so with this, them going after South Africa and putting these sanctions on South Africa has reciprocated by saying that's fine. You know what I mean? So if you want to place these sanctions against South Africa, we're going to play the same game. It's critical because South Africa is a major global supplier of platinum, gold, diamonds, uranium, magnesium, everything you can think of. The especially gold, gold and diamonds. But platinum, 95% of the world's platinum comes from South Africa. Without platinum, you cannot make high strength steel. Period. 95% of the world's platinum. So all of those alloys that go into your space program, your space shuttles, your aircraft, your everyday GM vehicles, your everyday car, your Ford trucks, all that stuff is made from high strength steel, and you cannot make high strength steel without platinum, and 95% of it comes from South Africa. So here's the deal. That's why that's important what South Africa did. It's also important for South Africa to stand up, is because hopefully it'll motivate not just South Africa, but other African countries to realize that they are not powerless. You know what I mean? A lot of 75% of the world's cobalt. You cannot have a cell phone battery without cobalt.
Right.
You cannot have an EV battery without cobalt. Coltan comes from Congo. So all of the solar panels and all just the transistors. You know what I mean? If you have an electronic washer and dryer, your transistors, your microwave, none of that can happen without Africa. And so these countries, folks, we're not powerless. And I'm glad that South Africa is standing up to these folks and letting them know. America's about to learn a lesson. They're overestimating their strength and they're overestimating their power. No country can go it alone. Every single country in this world, you need
interconnected. Yeah,
we live in a global economy and we're all interconnected. And America is not as powerful as you think it is. And once and the people who believe in American exceptionalism are about to learn a really, really hard lesson. You know what I mean?
They're effing around and finding out.
Oh, they're going to really find out.
Major.
Oh, yeah. They're going to really find out.
So, but before we sign off, I do want to address one comment that I saw in last week's show, but I have seen it in other shows. And these are comments about, well, what about that black on black crime? So that prompted me to do a little research. I want to know, well, what about white on white crime? And I found out that the percentage of white on white crime runs 80 to 90%. So before you post anything else about what about black on black crime, think about y'all doing some serious killing out there as well.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right. I mean, it's who you're around. A crime like that is just a crime of proximity. You know what I mean? And so if black folks are around black folks and white folks are around white folks, then of course you're going to have black on black crime or white on white crime or Latino on Latino crime. It's just crimes like that are just crimes of proximity. So it's ignorant of those folks to even say something like that or bring that up.
Right. So I went ahead and did the research. So I'm telling you, 80 to 90% white on white crime.
So we have our brother with us again today, and we are so happy to have him here joining us. And so, Professor, take us out. Anything you want to say to us? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I think that you guys have done a great job in bringing this into its third year.
Thank you.
And I think you'll celebrate your third year. I guess we're already there.
Yeah,
for sure.
We're here.
Isn't
This is we call it birthday, huh?
Yeah. Remember that we got together in 2022 and talked about doing this show. And we've done it consistently. You all picked up, and it stayed there, and it delivers a great message. That's all I can say.
Thank you.
And I just hope that at some point our people out there will start to realize shows like this are as important as some of these other shows you see on TV and YouTube. And the great thing about it, it's always there.
And we're going to go ahead and say this. We want to thank our producers, Linnell Taylor and Carl Booker. And with that being said, this is Contemporary Black Voices, Hot Topics, telling our stories our way.
She fall asleep over there?
You know, on the